Happy Place Home Studios.
Hello and welcome back to our Happy Place Home Studio series, Boss RC600 Complete. In this episode, we're going to recommend to you some very well put together videos on YouTube for you to watch to get some really key critical information on the RC600 and getting started with the RC600. Now, it's perfectly legit for you to say, well, why is this guy sending me out to watch some other videos when I'm already watching his video? Well, the folks that have put together this content are really deeply entrenched in the RC600. They've been doing it for years. Many of these videos were created years ago. And they're the videos that I watched and that I agree with the approach that the creators took to how I wanted to use the RC600. So if you're interested in things that are similar to what I'm interested in, it makes sense that those will be great videos for you to watch as well. And I think they were very expertly put together, so I don't really feel I'm going to improve on that process. So it's a place to start. And to really get into the content that I'm creating for you, you do want to have a place to start and to have put some of these things in place so that the content that you're watching from me is going to make that much more sense. So I have put together a collection of videos that I think will really get you started off well, and especially in some key areas of setup of the RC600 and making your way through some of the different options that you have, and then we'll be able to build from there. Incidentally, I'm not affiliated with any of the creators of the videos that I'm presenting here. I'm simply including links to their content for you to be able to explore for yourself. So there's no relationship business-wise between me and any of these creators. Okay, the first video that I want to recommend to you is from Ross Gallagher, and I will recommend several of his videos in this section. And this is the first 15 things that you should do once you get your Boss RC600. It's really a terrific video, very well put together, easy to follow. Ross does a good job, and I think you'll find the content that he created here to be very, very useful and to give you a place to start so that what I'm working with you on in this series will make that much more sense. And it will also help that I also followed most of the recommendations that Ross makes. The one caveat I'll have here for you is that these are some of the older videos that I'm recommending to you. They were created some 3 years ago. And that means that some of the content, and I'll try to point out specific areas for you, is dated because the firmware has been updated, as I mentioned in the introduction to this series. So just be aware of that. But by far, the majority of the content that Ross is presenting is still right on the money. And the important thing, I think, is the way he says you should structure your Boss RC600. For example, in the very first video, he talks about instead of using the default setup of the RC600, which gives you 3 tracks on 2 different banks, he recommends that you go with 6 tracks on the first bank. And I heartily agree with that. And I've learned in my own experience and performing with the RC600, I would not want to have to switch banks to access 3 of the tracks and then have to switch back to access the first 3 of the tracks. And that's just one example of some of the things that Ross recommends. So check out this video from Ross Gallagher. I think you'll really like it, and I think you will be able to implement a lot of what he recommends that you implement. The second video I want to recommend to you is from Ben Rowland. Now, this video is not a step-by-step, here's what you should do video, as the first video was, but it has just a lot of great nuggets of information, things that you can use. This is a video you will want to rewatch several times as you pick up expertise, because I found, in fact, in rewatching it to create this video and make this recommendation, I went back and picked up several great nuggets and things that I'd forgotten that would have been really helpful if I had remembered them. So I really think you'll pick up good information here, easy, quick tips and tricks using the RC600, as well as some larger recommendation that Ben makes as well. So I think this is a video you'll enjoy, and I really recommend that you rewatch it every once in a while to refresh those things that you saw but forgot about. Sometimes you don't really forget about them, but you just don't need them till you're at a certain point in your usage with the RC600, and so rewatching it will go, oh, that's how you do that. You'll like that part of Ben's video. The third video I want to recommend to you is from John Paul Music, and the subject of the video is the Boss RC600 editor, and it's a very good overview and gives you some nice specific information about the editor. You're going to want to get that editor as soon as you can. It's not expensive. It's easy to implement and install on your PC or on your Macintosh computer. And you really do need to be committed to making backups, especially when you start putting content together that you're going to use, set lists, and that type of thing. Because there are things that I'll point out to you in future videos that can happen that will compromise the songs that you've created. There are things that you can do that you didn't realize you did, and all of a sudden, one of the WAV files on one of your tracks is not correct anymore. So you've got to be able to go back to restore those videos, and you don't want to lose hours and hours of work, as I have. So the RC600 editor is not just useful for backups and restoration. It's also great for creating your memory or your song files and editing them. And so you'll see there's a lot of use that you can get out of this. But if all you use it for is backup and restoration, that's more than enough value compared to the time it takes to create and recreate the content. So check out this video. I think you'll like it a lot, and I think you'll quickly be in a position to be able to make good backups and restore them if you need to. Okay, two more videos I want to recommend to you, going back to Ross Gallagher. The first is a general video about effects, how to apply them at the track level, at the global level, and some really good deep information about effects on the RC600. Effects are in some ways very easy to use, but there's also a depth there and a little bit of complexity in the way that the effects are structured. So that is worth having some great information on, and something that I wish I had done earlier than I did. But in my initial work, I wasn't overly consumed by effects, but I think that the RC600 has a great effect system, and you'll want to know as much about it as you can. Ross also has a great video on input, output, and routing that I think you'll want to watch as well. So I have recommended that, and the link is right here, but also you'll find it in the notes for this video, as you will find all the links for everything that I've recommended in the notes. So check those out. It's definitely worth watching to get the most out of effects. Okay, those are the 5 initial videos that I wanted to recommend for you. And if this seems like a lot of content to you, it is. If you don't have time to go through all of them, I really recommend you at least do the first video, Ross's video on the 15 things you should do right away. It won't take you that long, and it will set you up to be in a position to understand what I'm talking about in the upcoming videos and to really make some progress. Continue on in the series, and we'll see you in our next session.